So in this session we will going to see what are variables and arguments. See, as we know, there are different types of variable in different programming languages, starting from C, C++, Java, etc. So here in UiPath there are variables as like C or other programming languages, starting from integer, character, float. Okay, so similarly in UiPath there are different types of integers, different types of data types like character, strings, array, list, dictionary. So these are the variables used in UiPath. So what are variables? Basically it is a container that can hold multiple values of same data type. For example, if you have declared one variable as email address, so to hold the value of a particular email, for example rpadeveloper@uipath.com, so this is a mail id. So this mail id should be saved in the variable named as email address. Okay, so the value of the variable can change the through external input. So variables are configured through their properties. We can set the variable by using three types. So before that you should know what is different convention of naming and what are types, default value and scope in variables. So name should be descriptive. Suppose you are defining a email variable, so the name of variable should be email id. If you are defining the employee id, so employee id should be the name of the variable. So name should be descriptive so that it become easy to understand that this variable may contain which value. Okay, so the naming convention should be easy. Next is type. So there are different data types supported by UiPath. So whatever variable you have declared, it should provide with some data type, like defining what kind of data can be stored in the variable. So in UiPath the type is declared when the variable is created. However, there are some specific types that are more generic and accommodate different types of data. So suppose you have a collection of similar data elements, a group of collection of similar data elements. So in that type we use data type as array. Okay, array of string, array of integer. If number of collections are there or with integer values, then we take array of integers. If it is a key value pair, then we use dictionary. Okay, and list is also there. See, list means what? We actually have the collection of similar element, but the difference between list and array is that in array we cannot feed data dynamically, but in list we can feed the data dynamically. So this is the main difference between list and array. So we will further see different types of data types as we process. So what is default value? See, whenever a variable is declared, it should provide with some initial value. If no initial value is assigned at the creation of variable, then generally a default value is considered by the variable. Next is scope. See, scope means nothing but a workflow in which your variable is used. So the different types of scope, suppose you have defined a variable with in a particular scope, so you should assign the scope to it. So some variable may be global, some may be local. In real automation scenario there are many variable in use. Okay, so making one multiple variable unnecessarily global can cause an efficiency issue. So let me share you the screen of UiPath to understand what is scope. See, if I gone to the home page, I clicked on process, created one project. So I am creating a message box displaying some message. So I will create one variable for this so that you can understand how we can declare a variable in UiPath. Opening the workflow, I have dragged one sequence activity. So now this sequence will become one workflow. Okay, now I'm taking one activity called as assign. Here I want to create one variable. So for control plus key is the shortcut key to create variable. I have created variable named as name. So you can see in the bottom the name variable is created. The variable type is string. Here we have data types. So if we are using a variable which can store number, then I will go for integer. If a variable contains some array, so I can go for array of integer or array of string. So let us switch till string only here. Now this is the scope. Okay, sequence. Suppose I am having another scope, another sequence, then okay, suppose let me have the naming convention here, demo. Okay, so this scope, you can see this variable is assigned in this scope demo. Okay, if another sequence activity I have dragged here and its name is sequence. Now you can find there are two scopes available, one is sequence, one is demo. So this variable should be assigned to any one of the sequence. Okay, I hope you understand what is scope now. So in a larger program there are different types of scopes or workflows, and there are different types of variable. We should assign a specific scope to the variable. So these are the some elements of variable. Now how to create a variable? Just now we have seen one method to create a variable. There are three different methods we can create a variable. From variable panel, okay, just open a variable panel, select create new variable and fill the detail. So let me show you. See, this is at the bottom, you can see a variable. Click on here and you can create a variable over here. Okay, so this create option is there. You can type a variable name and do the following things. So this is one of the method. What is second method? From designer panel, drag any activity and assign the variable. See, right now we have seen here, see I have assigned one taken one activity, for example assign, and here itself I am creating variable. So for that, control plus key and created variable named as var. So this may my variable is created. Okay, and what is the third type of creating variable? From property panel. In this from property panel activity, you have to create a variable. So let me show you how it can be created. So just you can see over here, I am taking for example an value assign activity. Okay, now here itself I can create a variable in property panel by control plus k and defining some value. So here my variable is created. Okay, so there are three methods from which we can create a variables. Now suppose this is a variable, you have to store some value in it. So you have to put the value. Okay, so this value will be stored in this variable. Now just want to display the value, so I will call the variable name. Okay, now simply executing this, so it has shown the output like UiPath demo. So this matter is stored in this variable. So this way we can create a variable in UiPath. So this was a string variable. Suppose you want to create a variable of integer data type. The unnecessary variable I will delete here from here. So I am declaring one integer okay. You cannot give exact name because it's of data type, so I am declaring variable 1 in that integer 2. Okay, now here I am calling the variable and it should have only integer value. Okay, so integer value without any double inverted comma, you have to mention that. Simply calling the variable dot toString. See why I am doing this toString, because integer value and message box support string, so I need to convert this integer value to display in the message box. So that's why variable dot toString. So let me run this and show you. So this way integer also can be displayed in message box by converting it into string. I hope you understood this part. So these are the three different ways we have seen right now of creating variable. This is a demo part we have seen, like we have taken input dialog box, we have defined some message over here, okay, and then we have display in the log message. So let us perform this example. So I am taking a new sequence over here. I am taking input dialog box in it. Here suppose I want to, this is the title of a window, so I will give you a demo. This is input label is nothing but it will display to the user. So username, here we have to create a variable, so I can create itself here. So control plus K. Okay, so it's string variable. Now I want to display it into log message, for example. So the output of the log message will be on the same screen. Okay, you can use message box also, it's one and the same. So you have to select your info and you're calling the variable username, running this. So it will ask the user to have input the username, so I will input. Okay, so it has executed successfully. To see the output, you can see it's printed the Aurangabad, whatever input user have given in that window. So this way we can assign variable and display the variable in log message. I hope you understood this part. So this is usual theory as we have seen earlier also. Control plus K is the shortcut key to create a variable. So let us recap what we have done. We have started a sequence. Here we have taken an activity from the activity panel from the left side as input dialog. In that, the first part is for title, second is for the user to display. You can ask here please enter your username etc message, so that user can understand what you want to put as the input. Here we have created variable in this value entered, and we have attached it with the log message, and simply we have called the variable where the user will be input will be stored. So what are the good practices for creating variable? The naming convention should be clear and consistent. So we should understand while creating a variable that each word in the middle of the phrase is capitalized. Okay, and make sure you define the scope of each variable correctly. Okay, as we have discussed, there are, if you take two or more sequence in a program in a same workflow, then what happen? Every sequence have its own variable. So you have to define a correct scope for the variable. So each variable should be correctly assigned with a scope. Now let us see what are arguments. So in UiPath, the scope of variable cannot exceed a workflow. Suppose if you are using variable which is limited for a particular scope, but it cannot exceed to another workflow. Okay, suppose you are using 2 or 3 pages workflows in a program, so variable cannot travel from one workflow to another or one page to another variable. For that purpose, argument is there. Since business automation project rarely consist of single workflows, argument have to be used. See, in a production you cannot work on single workflow, there are multiple workflow, so you have to declare arguments. Arguments are very similar to variable. Okay, they are used to store data dynamically, they have same data types, and they support same methods as variable. The difference between them, variable and argument, is that they pass data between workflow. Argument pass data between workflows, whereas variable cannot, and they have an additional property for this. So what are the properties of arguments? The direction properties like from, to, which the data is passed, then in, out, and in, out, etc. These are the directions. So same data types are there like integer data, float, double, date, time, time span, etc. Talking about variable, there are different types of variables, as we have seen strings to have a storing names, collections, there is a different types of list where we can have number of similar data element collection. It's like array, but it can store dynamically. Array is used to store multiple element of same data type, but cannot increase the size dynamically, whereas dictionary is nothing but a key value pair where each of the two can be of separate data type. So let us see an example of variable by creating one arithmetic operations in UiPath. So opening workflow, dragging sequence, taking one assign activity, Here create variable, I can use three methods. First from here, second from this downward variable, and third from directly here. So let me start here. Control plus K, shortcut to create variable. Number one, okay. I should define the data type as string because we are storing numbers. Put some numbers like 50. Taking another assign activity, creating another variable number 2, select it data type as integer, give some another value that is 40. Now I will take one message box and I will try to merge these two things. Addition of number 1 and number 2 equal to, I will concat this with the variable num1 plus num2 dot toString. Okay, see, these are the number we have to convert it into string, that's why dot toString. So let me save and run this. So you can see 40 plus 50 is 90. So this way we can create a different variables of different data types. Let me show you how to declare array. So let's start. I'm taking an assign activity, creating variable by control plus K. I am defining name, okay, name array. Here in type I should select array and here of string. Now I will populate the array. With three values, for example. So first is, for example, Rakesh, Manoj, I am taking another assign value activity and different variable of for example country name. This also I would like to give array of string. Where it is? Array of string. Sure. Populate it with country names. For example, India, Germany, France. Okay, so these two arrays we have defined, one with name and one with country name. Now I can take either log message or message box. So simply what I will do, for example, I want to define name at second position. So let me run and show you. So the answer is Karan. Why? See, Rakesh is at 0th position, Manoj is 1 and Karan is 2. So initial position in array as index is always 0, 0, 1, 2. If there are 3 values, then it should be read as 0, 1, 2. Okay, suppose I typed here 0 and then I run, then it will show the first value in the array, that is Rakesh. Now suppose I want to merge this with the country name. For example, country name 1 I will this. So let me show you Rakesh German. You can type here some message like this will be for space purpose. So let me show you this. So Rakesh belongs to Germany. So this way we can concat and merge with some values. I hope you understand defining the variable. We have seen integer type, string type and array type. Okay. Now we will see how to declare list. So let me create one program for list variables. Taking sequence. I will take one assign activity, create one variable named as list1. Okay. Populate it with some value. Now you should select the variable with some value like browse for type, search your list. Okay, its data type should be list. At bottom you can see system.collection.generic in that list t. Here drop down will appear. Here you have to select list of string. Okay, and here itself you can populate with one entry. Okay. But before that, directly populating the list will give you error, as we have seen. So for that you have to initialize the list initial. So how we can initialize? By using the command like new list of string. So this is the initialization of the variable list. Okay. Now if I want to populate the values in the list, there are various elements of collection. If you search for collection in activity panel, then you can find there are number of collections like add collection, clear collection, exist in collection, remove from collection. So let me add some values or populate the list by adding once again. I will add some value. So here by clicking here I can put here the variable name in collection as list1. Then what item I want to put, I will write in double inverted comma. For example, first name I want to provide Karan. The object type should be string here, then it will error free. Similarly in this calling the variable, populating with some value, changing the type to string. Okay. One again, list one, populating with values string 5. So this way we have populated with 3 values in this. You can directly take a message box to display the things. Okay, if you want to display all the elements in this, then you can define list dot to string. Okay, this is the one of the method we can so this way we have to check whether it can read the values. So let me show you. So it will not define the value inside it, but it will define the location, like system.collection list and whatever the value passed in the collection. So to display the value properly, I will use for each. So it will iterate each and every elements. So let me, now you can see for each, this is by default variable, calling the variable initially we have created list, taking message box inside this, now just defining it, item dot to string. So it's fine. Let me save and run. So you can see first element is Karan, second Rakesh, third Manoj. So this way it will, the for each loop is used to iterate through the number of collections. So how we have defined list, we have to define list variable with the data type as list of string. We have to initialize it by the command new list of string. We have added collections into it to iterate it to display the output properly. I am using for each, giving the variable name list1 and displaying the message box by the item dot to string. So I hope this point is clear on your side. This way we have seen different types of variables in UiPath. So this was about different types of variables. Now we will see variable or we can say arguments. Okay, so arguments are used to transfer data from one workflow to another workflow, because variable cannot move data from one workflow to another workflow, hence arguments are used. So let us see an example on arguments. So let me delete all the things and create a fresh sequence. I am assigning a value, creating one variable, control plus K, arg argument in. Okay, putting some value, this is in variable. this is invariable. Okay, similarly okay similarly argument out. Okay, okay. Create variable. Okay, now I will try to display a message box for this. Okay, so it will display some message like, okay, so this it will define the message. This is in variable. Okay, similarly for this will display this is out. Okay, this is simple variable till now, but when we have to declare the argument, let us see this. Okay. Okay, now what I will do, I will create another workflow. Okay. So let me create a workflow of this. Extract as a workflow. By right clicking we can have this option. Give this a name. To sequence create. So here the workflow is created. Okay, and this is the main workflow. Now in your main you can see the invoke second workflow name is visible, and from here you can have input arguments. So if I define an argument, for example in argument with first variable okay, now I will create an argument in this sequence. So my first argument will be argument of in with the value okay. Now similarly we have the out. It should be of out type. So two argument is created in this second sequence. Okay, so now this is my newly created sequence. This is my first sequence. Here you can see I want to have an argument, so I will call the arguments argout by clicking on import and me show you once again. I'm importing this. You can find out here what are the different variables we have. arg out here, okay, in this second sequence, and here we have to import that. Okay. So this way I have inputted argument in for invert. Okay. Similarly, again importing another variable, giving any name. Its direction should be out, and which are they? Okay, fine. Here in this variable you have to check which variable is this arg. So defining the variable over here, argument over here, arg out, and it should be of type. Okay. Similarly, importing here arg out, its type should be out. So you can find out we have linked that to the variable. Okay. Now simply putting the message box over here and calling the variable. Now you can find, if I run this is in variable because I am calling argument. Now you can understand from this page I have imported the variable as an argument. Okay. So I hope you understand how argument can flow from one workflow to another workflow. Okay. So till now we have seen different types of database in UiPath. Data, tables, variables, and arguments in UiPath. So what are different types of variable we have seen since list, what are collections, arrays, then string, integer, etc. types of variables, how to declare variables, how to declare arguments, the data types, and few examples on arithmetic and etc. So this way we have seen how to declare variables in UiPath. See, the important thing of UiPath or is to declare a variable. Once you are familiar how to declare variable, how to declare arguments, how to import argument, etc. things, then you can go for a mainstream projects. Okay. So that's why you should understand what is scoop, okay, what are sequence, what are data types, how the data types are used, etc. things. So I hope you understood this session. So this session is totally dedicated to variables and arguments. In next video we will see regarding how to have control structures. Okay. So what are control structures in UiPath for having a decision making. Okay, like if else, while, do while. Also to iterate values in loops. We have seen in this example as for each, but we will see in detail how to use for each in next video. Okay. for now we will so I hope you understood this session. Here also we have seen, for example, so let us have a quick recap of today's session. Variables and arguments. What are variables? We have seen there are different types of variables: strings, integers, array, okay, list. Then we have seen what are the different three methods from which we can create variable. We have seen some examples from input dialog box to users, okay, how to store values in variable, the shortcut key for creating variables like control plus key. These are some examples. Different data types overview we have seen. How to define a list, how to initialize the list. We have also demonstrated the array example. And finally we have seen defining the arguments. What are the purpose of argument? To move from one workflow to another workflow. So this is the arithmetic operation we have seen, requesting user to enter first number, then second number for second. For that we have taken input dialog box second. Then in message box we have used concatenation to merge these two numbers and perform the addition. See, in message box by default it is display string values as numbers are integer value. For that we have used .toString. The toString will convert the number or integer value into the string, okay. If this .toString is not used, then it will throw an error message. So that's why we have to convert the integer to the string values. So that's all for this session. I hope you understood, and we have also performed various live demonstration. So thank you all.